Where do I begin? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Belisa. I am an emergency medicine doctor. So let's do a quick life update. I was in emergency medicine training. I'm on a year out and it was a fourth year out. So I don't even know where to start. If you're familiar with the emergency training pathway, you can either, when you get accepted into the program, you can choose to sign a 3-year contract or a 6-year contract. The 3-year contract, you're known as a core trainee, meaning at the end of year 3, you reapply to go into your 4th year. Versus if you sign a 6-year contract, you're known as a run-through trainee, meaning that you're going to go from the beginning to the very end straight through your program. When I got offered the place in emergency medicine, I was very new to the country. I didn't know anything about it. I had no guidance. And I went with a 3-year contract. And the reason I chose a 3-year contract, my thought was, one, I never did emergency medicine before. I wasn't sure if I would enjoy it as a specialty in training. The way I got before coming to the UK, I was very much interested in doing surgery. And then when I got to the UK, I did a 6-month placement in acute medicine and I absolutely loved it. I loved like using medication and making a difference and stopping the AFs and I found it really intriguing. So then I thought, what specialty has a bit of both? And that's how I came to emergency medicine. So you see the range of diagnoses, and I love making the diagnosis. I love being the first one there and not knowing what's going to come through the door, and that's how I decided to choose emergency medicine. So anyways, back to the story. I chose the 3-year. 3-year meant I had to reapply at year 4 versus the run through. One, I did not know how competitive it would be reapplying at year 4. Apparently there's a bottleneck and some people spend years out trying to get back in. And 2, so I applied last year. I went through interviews and I was selected. Yay! So why am I not in the program? Well, what happened is that I took my OSCE. So we do the MR Chem and you're expected to have it finished before year 3 ends. So year 3 ended in August, the beginning of August, and I took mine in June. We were supposed to get the results in July. Mine never came until the end of August, and as a result of that, the college rescinded my offer. It was one of the most traumatic and hardest period in my life because there was just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of back and forth. I was messaging them, I was begging, like, can you please make I wouldn't even use the word exception. Like, can you please understand that, one, this is not my fault. Like, no one told me. One, that they said that, hey, you shouldn't have even been allowed to apply. You should have already gotten the exam result by May, which would have been impossible if someone's taken the exam in June. And my heart sank when they said that to me because it's like, after I'd gotten their offer, I had turned down another offer I had taken for a teaching job. And if I was going to spend a year out, I wanted to spend it doing something else other than clinical medicine. I wanted to either do teaching or research, something else that would just give me a different experience for the year. Anyway, so I was just trying to get them to see my case that, it's not my fault that you guys accepted me into the program. That was an error on your end. And initially they said, okay, if you pass the exam, we'll allow you to continue, we'll keep your spot. Anyway, so I passed my exam. I was so ecstatic. I went and immediately the first thing was like, oh, I need to tell them that I passed the exam. So I contact the head of the region and I was like, oh, good news, I've passed my exam, expecting that her email will be, oh, congratulations, we'll get you started, we'll get you into placement, blah, 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 blah. Instead, her response email was, sorry, we can no longer offer you the job. Like, my whole world sank reading that email just because, when it was bad enough. I was disappointed once, and then after a lot of back and forth, it seemed as if it was heading in the right direction. And then now that I've done my part and I've got it, it was like a rejection all over again. It's like the first time was really bad, the second time was horrendous. And I had based so much of my life on this decision. Like, I had moved from Birmingham to Woking. Birmingham is in the north, Woking is in the south. I had moved apartments, I had paid down on a lease, I had given up my other apartment in Birmingham. And that was a financial burden that I had, endeavored on. And because of that promise, I was living in Woking and still working in Birmingham, because I ended up extending my third year until October it was. So I was like traveling 5-6 hours to get to work. And after work, sometimes I was crashing by one of my good friends who I am so grateful for having her through this period, because honestly, I don't know. I have to say that it was like ordained that she happened to have moved to Birmingham when this was happening, and I had her there that I could count on. And just her offering me a spot, it just shows like the importance of having people who would be there for you during the rough times. And yeah, so like I was making all these sacrifices, long travel, the cost of travel, the taxing nature on my body. Like, I travel 5 hours and then go to a night shift. I remember one night I was so tired on the night shift, because I spent all day traveling to get there to then work a night shift, that like I was shown an ECG and it was like a very blatant ECG, and my brain just wasn't focusing, and I couldn't interpret it. I'm like, yeah, it was that bad. So again, my world felt like it crashed a second time around, and then I had to pick myself up from the dust. And at this point I realized, okay, now it's a matter of my visa. Because I'm still on visa, I need to be employed and I need to be long term. I need to be in a contract. I can't work locums. So it meant that with them taking back that offer, that I had 3 months to find a job. So I was applying to different places. Like, every place I applied to, I got a job offer. So I'm really grateful for that, but they didn't come right away. Like, I was there months, sweating, stressed. I don't want to say depressed, but I was really sad and really going through it, and really heartbroken for months. And I was just doing everything I could think of. And in those moments, I'm really grateful for the people who rallied around me, my family, my significant other, like my friends. Like, when you're going through it, it's the people who show up for you that gets you through it. And without them, I don't think I would have been able to do it, if I'm to be very honest with you guys. And it just goes to show the importance of community. Anyway, so I got a job. Now I'm settled in Woking. I live down south, which I absolutely love. I'm working. It's a non-training job, so I don't have to worry about portfolio. I'm just working, and I'm really enjoying the year of learning without pressure, if that makes sense. Like, I don't have to hit certain things on a tick box system. I can just go to work, I can just learn, and I can just continue to get better. So that is an update of why I'm currently not in training, and I'm on a year out. I have reapplied, and I'm just waiting to see whether I've been offered an interview or not, to see if I will perhaps restart my program in 2024 August. So join me on my continued journey as I embark on my goal of becoming an emergency medicine doctor. Well, emergency medicine consultant. Bye.